Good morning. Whoever would like to start. If you just introduce yourselves for us.
Good morning, Appropriation Committees. Thank you for having me today. My name is Rachel Sims, and my husband and I reside in West Monroe, Louisiana. We currently have 6 children, ranging from age 3, which is Ellie, to 18 years old. 5 who we have fostered to adopt, and 1 child who is in extended foster care. Out of the 6, 3 are diagnosed with developmental disabilities. I'm here today to ask that you appropriate an additional $9.4 million in state general funds to eliminate the flexible family fund waiting list for children with intellectual and developmental disabilities and other behavioral health needs. My family has received flexible family fund since June 2023 for Ellie. Ellie is one of less than 500 children in the world with a genetic diagnosis of Pallister-Killian syndrome, and she is currently one of 5 in the state of Louisiana.
I'm sorry to interrupt. If you could pull the mic just a little bit closer, just so.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's no problem. Everyone just wants to hear you. All right, thank you.
Like I was saying, Ellie has Pallister-Killian syndrome. She's one of 500 in the world. Currently, 5 children in the state of Louisiana have Pallister-Killian syndrome. Pallister-Killian causes children to experience breathing difficulties, feeding difficulties, gross developmental delay, a seizure disorder that typically arises by the age of 6. They have a gross motor delay where they have trunk weakness, so they have trouble sitting, standing, walking due to muscle tone. Along with this condition, Ellie was also brought into foster care for being a shaken baby. My family is grateful to be able to provide and support a loving home for Ellie and to nurture and to care for her in the way that she deserves. Raising a child with developmental disabilities, I'm so sorry, however, is often a daily battle to overcome significant barriers to access and afford many of her healthcare challenges. And it makes it near impossible to find help. Ellie does not qualify for the pediatric healthcare daycare. She also does not qualify for regular daycare. As a parent to multiple children with developmental disabilities, it's been difficult to maintain a full-time employment. I resigned from my full-time job as a neonatal intensive care nurse. I transport for our local hospital. I go get children from smaller outside rural communities and bring them to a higher level care facility. My husband is our primary source of income, and he is a mechanic. We do not receive any additional support for any of our children. We have never been able to receive Social Security. We do not receive CCAP or food stamps. The Flexible Family Fund has been a tremendous source of financial relief and for our extraordinary out-of-pocket cost that we experience, which there's often no other source of help for. Ellie's care keeps our family very busy, navigating frequent medical appointments outside of Northeast Louisiana. Many of her pediatric specialists are in New Orleans and Baton Rouge. She also has a special team in Texas Children's Hospital and a highly specialized Pallister-Killian team at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, which we plan to attend again this year. Though I've tried to apply for reimbursement for mileage through Medicaid, I have come to find that the state of Louisiana does not provide that service. And to date, I have never been able to figure out any other alternative. Travel and mileage to see her team in Philadelphia gets very expensive, as Ellie cannot ride for long hours in the car. About our max is about to New Orleans from home. So we frequently pay for overnight accommodations for her and for us to be able to stay when we travel. Ellie is currently in therapy 5 days a week, PT, OT, speech, and pelvic floor therapies. Balancing her many appointments and sessions and requires constantly for pay and after-hours care for her other children. Ellie's condition also results in polydysmorphia, which requires her to have special needs and different type of specialized adaptive equipment for herself and clothing, much which is always denied through Medicaid. So we choose to pay them out of pocket. For example, Ellie is diagnosed with corticovestibular impairment due to being shaken. She has a retina specialist, and the type of frames she wears for her glasses, there's only one provider in the state, and they are in New Orleans. However, they do not accept Medicaid. Ellie was recently prescribed 2 different types of glasses to see if we could help her with some of her vision. I'm currently paying for those out of pocket. When Ellie gets sick, she's predominantly G-tube fed. When I'm not able to get her special formula from insurance, I order it. It's $286 on Amazon. There are also many things that she needs monthly that I choose to order from Amazon that I cannot receive through Medicaid. One of her medications that she takes for her gastrology needs, Medicaid does not cover. And I found one place where they did cover it, and I was so excited. So I had it shipped to the house, only to realize that it caused severe gastrointestinal issues. So we went back to buying her stuff over the counter. In order to transport Ellie from her home to her many appointments, the physical therapist referred her for a wheelchair/stroller. The chair was covered, however, it was very cumbersome and it broke twice within 6 months. As a result, we purchased our own Wonderfold wagon, which costs hundreds of dollars. But it allows us to carry all of her medical equipment in a way that keeps her safe and comfortable. While my family is blessed to receive the Flexible Family Fund stipend to help pay for some of the many extraordinary needs for Ellie's care, there are many families like mine who are still on the waiting list for this program. I ask that you please appropriate an additional $9.4 million in state general funds to eliminate the Flexible Family Fund waiting list for children with intellectual, developmental, and behavioral health needs. Thank you.
Ms. Rachel, you're amazing. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for your testimony. We really appreciate Princess Ellie being here as well. I'm going to get to the other 2 speakers in a minute, but Ms. Rachel, you do have a couple of questions and comments.
Okay.
First up, Representative Zarang.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Sims, God bless you. I was fortunate enough, my wife is a non-categorical preschool teacher and teaching challenged youth, and I can fully appreciate the challenges that you go through on a daily basis. And there's a saying that the value of our lives is measured by our capacity to love others. And I want to say you and your husband are priceless, and thank you both for what you do. And just let you know that we hear you, and we are going to work to do what we can to support you and the other priceless individuals who take on this challenge. And thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative Zarang. Vice Chair Horton is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Amen to Representative Zarang. How does the TEFRA program work for you? Have you been able to take advantage of that?
No, ma'am.
And can I ask you why? And are you aware of TEFRA?
I am, but I was told that I would not qualify.
Would it be your child that would not qualify because your income does not play into TEFRA? So I'm just confused.
So I will tell you this, not only was I a neonatal intensive care nurse, I was also a community resource nurse for Early Head Start. So I was aware of a lot of different, programs that were available. However, even being educated, and I am currently back in school and will apply for nurse practitioner school this summer.
Good for you.
And a lot of it is extremely hard to navigate. And I also sit on the DCFS Foster Advisory Board. And I've done that for the last 2 years. And so when I say I take hundreds of phone calls a week from foster parents around Louisiana asking for, hey, what can I do here? What kind of therapies? How do I get my child approved for this? I always answer the phone call. But even it took me almost a month and at least 20 times on the phone a week with the Movacare Medicaid mileage reimbursement, because I was originally told that we would absolutely qualify. However, for some reason, I'm assuming maybe Louisiana outsources that, because every time I got a representative on the phone, they were from the state of Virginia, and they knew nothing about our laws. And then about the end of the third week or the fourth week, because I had already sat down, took the time to put all our appointments in online, and I got a lady from Texas, a representative from Texas, and she's like, girl, your state doesn't do that. And I was like, oh. So I had wasted hours and hours of time putting her appointments in online, plus making phone calls and filling out paperwork. So a lot of it I have found just to be extremely difficult to navigate. And I did apply for SSI for her, and the last time I heard anything was at the August of last year.
Well, I'm glad to know that, because we definitely need to meet with staff to look into it, because TEFRA is for severely disabled children, and to be able to help you with what co-pays or anything your insurance doesn't pay for. That's what TEFRA's designed for people like you and your husband, who have one child like this, your beautiful baby. And so I definitely will meet with staff, because it's not supposed to be difficult. In fact, I don't know why you wouldn't qualify for TEFRA. I mean, you're exactly who it's designed for. So I appreciate you answering my questions, and definitely I look forward to meeting with staff to see how we can make it better and more accessible, and it shouldn't be that difficult to navigate.
Representative Horton, may I expand on that a little bit?
Absolutely.
She is adopted through DCFS, and so she did meet the guidelines for, if Medicaid didn't pay for anything later. We, just of last week, we just decided that we would pay for both of her frames and all of her specialty lenses out of pocket, because we go back in 3 months to have another evaluation, and we still have not been able to get the okay from DCFS that once Medicaid denied it. And so they finally gave me an okay, but then I can't find anybody at home in our area who wants to work with us as far as providing me with a Medicaid denial for the things that she needs, because she's not seen it in West Monroe or Monroe. And so, and I absolutely understand that. We're in a society where it's do more with less. And when they don't see her, I'm just simply going and saying, hey, can I possibly buy a pair of lenses for these specialty frames that only one place in the state sells? And so when I say, I've made hundreds of phone calls for years over Ellie, trying to get all the appropriate care for her and make sure that all of my children have absolutely everything that they need to become successful members of society. And they will be. Of course, Ellie will be my baby.
Hey, trust me,
forever.
I get it, and we believe you. Have you ever reached out to your state representative for assistance?
I believe I wrote a letter one time in the very beginning, but not in regards to Ellie.
I would do that. Should you have to do that? No, but I would do that, because you've done all you can. You've exhausted everything that you can, and normally that's when our constituents contact us. So please do that, and in the meantime, we know what we need to do. And thank you for being here and for your heart.
Thank you.
Certainly a Christ-like heart.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vice Chair Butler is recognized.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You're preaching to the choir when you talk about the difficulty. I have a special needs son, and I'm not a foster parent, but bless your heart. And believe me, God will take care and bless you and that baby. He has done so much for me in my life when I didn't know what I would do or where I would turn. He showed up. Not that I deserved it or earned it, but by His grace, He does it every day for me. And you are so right. When navigating our system, it fails us. It fails us every day, all the time. I did that too. When I want you to know, when I applied for SSI of my son, because I was a single mom, 1 in 60,000 women have a child with the syndrome my son was born with. So first and only child that I have. And I had to get an attorney because they wouldn't even listen to me. It's very difficult, and I get it and understand it. I see you, and I know what you need, and I support all help for all children in every capacity that we need, from waivers to community-based to whatever that is in care, because my son goes to an in-care school, and he has to have total care, and he comes home a lot, and we pay for that. But you're right. There was times when I were paying $800 a month for one medication for him out of pocket. It gets very expensive, and it's trying, and it's exhausting, and we can say that because it is. You know, people ask me, and I'll go, I'm very tired. He wears me down. But I love him, and we love our children, and we want the best for them like everybody else does. So thank you for being you and everything that you do, and we see you.
Thank you.
Representative Carpenter is recognized.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have walked in your shoes. My daughter, my oldest child, is on the autistic spectrum. High functioning, but she still requires care at home. That's the reason I get in here a few minutes late, because I'm waiting on a personal care assistant to show up. So you find yourself dependent on other people to help make the life that she needs livable. I understand what it's like to go from agency to agency to agency to try to find assistance. And it doesn't matter what income bracket you fall in, you still don't qualify for what the needs are. It's very difficult. And I applaud you. And I pray for you and your daughter, because it's going to take a long time to get things the way you think things should be. My concern is that it takes an emotional drain on the other members of the family, the other children. So how are you navigating that? You have other children, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So how old are they?
So the oldest is an extended foster care child who's 18, who's currently in college,
Good for you.
Monday through Friday, and she's doing wonderful. I do help her a lot with her mental health needs and her appointments. But besides that, I think that she's doing great.
Wonderful.
I think she's making beautiful
Well,
strides.
having a special needs child takes an emotional drain on the other children. So you have to work to be sure that they too get the needs that they.
Absolutely. Our 4 boys, 3 of
Right.
them are biological brothers, and one, I fully believe God brought him for her.
That's great.
He just turned 5, and anything that I do, he wants to listen to her. He wants to look at
Gotcha.
her, and he'll tell you, "I want to be a doctor to take care of
See
babies
the
like Baby
difference.
Ruth."
Yes.
And absolutely, he can, and he's always been that way since he was little. And so I will always encourage that. My other 2 boys, they were born 28 weeks preterm with no early childhood intervention. And so when we got them at 3.5, of course, speech therapy, occupational therapy, now they're great. They play baseball. They do really well. They're doing well in school with an IEP, of course, just because we didn't have
Yeah.
early intervention for them. But they're doing really well, and one aspires to be an engineer, and the other one is still undecided, but they're 10. They're young. They have all the time they need.
Well, you know, it just takes all of that to make life palatable for you. My children are 9 years apart. My son is an engineer. Of course, he lives in Maryland, but he and my daughter, who lives with me, are very, very close. And after my husband passed, it was the only time. My husband passed 4 years ago, and that was the only time my daughter was able to get his Social Security. Other than that, we've paid out of pocket for everything. Speech therapy, everything. So I understand your plight, and I'm willing to help wherever I can, because I know what you've gone through and what you will go through in the future.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
You're
that.
quite
I would like
welcome.
to add to it that we did pay $1,500 a month for our babies to have private
know.
insurance.
I understand it.
Because they're gifted Medicaid till they're 18, and then I started running into a lot of problems with providers as
Exactly.
far as, well, we won't take both. Or we'll only take if you have this one or that one. And so, and I used to bill and code before I went to nursing school. And
Yeah.
I was like, we won't take two.
Yeah.
two
Well, see,
insurance?
they don't understand that you need all these wraparound services too. So
Well, and I still haven't, like you said, you're dependent upon other people and
Yeah.
other caregivers to come in your home. She just got approval for a waiver on her birthday in
Wonderful.
February. And that's something like, once again, I made phone calls for years trying to figure out because our state says 0 to 3.
right. In order for me
But
to
they
be
don't do it
down
before
here,
3.
I depend on somebody else to come to my house every morning to be
Right.
with my daughter. So I totally understand it. So it will get better, trust me.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The board is clear.